Many voters are thinking about the presidential election in November, but some other races will be decided mainly by votes in the primaries happening September 1st. Among them is a contest in the Democratic primary for Register of Probate in Suffolk County. Our guest is one of the candidates, a probate attorney, Kirby Roberson. Thank you very much for being with us, Kirby.
Thank you, Chris, and it's a pleasure to be with you this morning and to talk about this race. Especially, most people don't usually talk about register of probate race.
Well, you must be used to talking about it quite a bit because you do most of your legal work in this area. So in addition to that, how does that experience prepare you for this job?
Well, for me, it's the key to the register of probate. If you are familiar with the law of probate and familiar with the people that come to the registry of probate and you know what they are seeking, it's not just a customer service job. It's a job that allows you to provide some educational help. And my experience as a practitioner for 27 years in the probate court allows me to navigate the system well and help people the most because I can prioritize, I can work with the members of the bar, I can work with the judges to make the probate court the most efficient court that we have in the state.
What about some ideas for making it more efficient?
Well, more efficient, first of all, it's access. They have to have people that are coming to the court, when they come, it's usually for some kind of stressful situation. And they need to have the most friendly court, which means that when people come in and ask a question, the question needs to be asked. So administratively, I have a project to make sure that there's accountability. Everybody who is in contact with somebody who comes to the court responds effectively, and by training them. And when I say anybody who comes to the court, it includes people who don't speak English, people with disability, people with different background, sexual orientation, and all that. So I will implement mandatory training for, let's say, cultural training, disability awareness training, which allows people to address folks the right way as opposed to calling them handicapped, for example. I have a background. My father was disabled, so I know very much that this is in my mind as well. So my experience and my background allows me to make sure that the court is effective in terms of access. Second, education in the community. I will take the probate court to the community, meaning that I will use the registry as a bridge between the probate law and the community to make sure that people know what the probate court does and what it can be used for. As a matter of fact, the probate court for me, it is right now a dormant kind of institution, dormant kind of office. I want to make it as dynamic as possible because right now it is the right time to make the probate court relevant in the life of the community, especially the Black and brown communities who don't know, and that the probate court can be as effective as anything else to help in decreasing the wealth gap.
Explain that a little bit, because we have heard about the racial gap in wealth. For a lot of the average people out there, they don't think about that right away. How does a probate court help them with that?
And that's why I'm so excited about this position, Chris. As you know, recently we have a statistic that comes out that says $200,000 for regular average income for white families and $8 for Black and brown community. And the probate court is the vehicle by which people transfer wealth from generation to generation. A lot of people don't know the importance of a will, the importance of financial planning through the probate court that you can do to make sure that if you unfortunately you pass on, your wealth doesn't come to the state for distribution. You plan or the state will plan for you. So my credibility as with 27 years of practice tells me, and I think that right now with COVID, showing the gap in everything, starting from wealth and health in the community, it's the time to have for everybody to start focusing on how really to fundamentally change the equation, making people know that the probate court is where to use their leverage when they come to court for child support, for example. They have, and I plan on bringing in free legal representation for small cases as child support, parenting time between grandparents and parents and the children. When you have a family that is strengthened through visitation, you have a more productive family. You have a family that is more receptive to education in the community so they can plan for their children. All of that will be brought to the community and make sure that the community really takes advantage of what the probate court does. So that way, that will definitely help in narrowing the wealth gap, which is what everyone should be focusing on. And I'm excited to take on right now because I think if I should be honored to be the next registrar of probate, I will change the equation. I will change what probate court looks like, what it does, and what people think it should be doing.
Well, one of the things you've posted is that you feel that it's time for the incumbent who's running for re-election to pass the torch. And you do connect that with some of the management problems that were discovered in this office. How would you correct that?
That's correct. And I believe that, the incumbent has been in politics for a long time. I feel that at this time, it's not just politics. People need to be paying attention to what's happening within the probate court. As you know, the register and the history of mismanagement and problems within employees and things like that. I think there is a problem with respect when people don't respect you because they don't think you know what you are doing. They tend to go astray. And myself, everybody will know that with 27 years of experience, I have something to pass on. I have something to share. And I will treat the office as a team with respect. And everybody gets trained. And I'm going to be on top of it because I know the law. I know what they should be doing. I'm not going to have a third person train somebody. Then I don't know what the training was all about. So with the respect that I'm going to bring in, I believe that we're going to have a cohesion in the office that will make sure that the office is effectively managed, as opposed to having some people doing whatever they want because they know that the register is not really familiar with the process. So I am confident that we're going to have a staff that is very responsive to the resident of the county. And I am sure that they're going to be satisfied with what they find under my tenure.
Well, a registrar gets to appoint a deputy registrar or assistant registrar. Anything you can tell me about the criteria for that position if you were to win this election?
To win my election?
Yeah, if you were to win, what would you require of a person to be your top assistant as far as qualifications?
The top would be experience. I would want to be to have a lawyer with me, but a lawyer with deep sense of community and with the same agenda that I have, to not to be in the office and just work with papers, because the papers are from people. There are people in the community who don't know. I need a focus on the users or the people that visits the court. We need to have a priority there, and I want to sense that anybody who's working under me have the same vision and the same enthusiasm to lift this community where they practice. Suffolk County is one of the most diverse county. I'm not going to have somebody who doesn't believe that we need to do extra to make sure that we lift up this community that needs it the most.
One of the other things that outside reviews found in this office under the current registrar is that there was a pretty toxic racial environment. Does that concern you? Is anything in particular you'd like to do about that?
Anytime you hear that there's a toxic environment that has undertone, racial undertone is concerning. But all my life, I've been in the culture. I know what that means, and I know what it is to work with. And obviously, my policy will be no tolerance for any of that. This is a professional office that's supposed to be providing professional work, and professional work starts with me. People are going to be professional with me and their colleague in that office. It's a respect 100%. And when you turn around as receiving those folks that are coming with trauma to the court, I need to have an office that is so cohesive in their purpose that there is no room for racial intolerance, intolerance for people of different background, culture, orientation, and all that. As a matter of fact, I will be looking into having somebody from the LGBTQ community to be consultant to this community, to this office, to make sure that we cover all the bases. There's no insensitivity, there's no intolerance, and regarding race or any other special category. So they will know where I stand on that. So, and it'll be open.
And very briefly, you speak some other languages besides English. We should let our viewers know about them.
Thank you. Yes, I studied most of my life in French, and my background is Haitian Creole, and I speak some Spanish. I mean, not some, most. I have a lot of clients from the South America, Caribbean, I mean, people who speak Spanish. So I speak Spanish. I'm very comfortable with folks of different language. One of the things that I have to make sure that I have is that somebody coming to that office will have an interpretation no matter what, whether we have somebody on staff, whether we are connected to some service, or it's me. I will be communicating with the public.